Hey, welcome everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice, and we're replaying game 115, August 10th. It's going to be the Expos at Shea Stadium in beautiful downtown Flushing, Queens. We're using Payoff pitch. It's Pete Falcone on the mound for the Mets. Now, Pete Falcone was 6-14 with a 4.16 ERA, 31 starts, one complete game. So he probably won't be completing this game. Dan Schatzeder, he's a lefty, and he's going for the Montreal Expos now. He was 10-5 with a 2.83. Now this is game 3 of a 3-game set, and the Mets basically swept a doubleheader, and so they're leading the series 2-0. And we're in August. We're using, like I said, Payoff pitch, pretty much chartless. There are some mini quick lookups that I'm using. And I have some ideas that about the rare play charts and so forth. I'm interested in adding some ideas of my own. The other day, it was a bunt attempt, and it rolled to the second baseman. The second baseman overthrew the first baseman. It rolled, carried off the wall and rolled towards right field. Now the runner on first, what made it to second on the error, but then decided to go to third. Well, the pitcher got the ball somehow, I'm not exactly sure, and he looked up and the runner was hustling for third. He threw to third and he got him 1-5. So basically on that play alone, it was a hit for the bunt single. It was an error allowing him to go to second base because there was no way they were going to get him. The second baseman made a dive for the ball and then flipped it while he was in the air. It went over the first baseman's head. So the hitter reaching second base was on the E4, and then finally it was a 1-5 put out at third base. So that was something I would like to see in the rare play chart. That would be interesting. A lot of things going on there, a lot of different things. So the batter gets a hit, the second baseman gets an error, and then there's finally a put out. The runner getting aggressive. And you can even add that as a choice, a coach's choice, where the runner can try for third, right? That sort of thing. And then he may or may not get thrown out. That would be interesting. So then I guess it would become a 2-base error rather than a 1-base error, allowing the batter to go to second base. It would become a 2-base error because the batter would make it to third. So anyway, that's the type of thing I'd like to add. I'd like to add where a ball drops in because the ball boy on the sidelines decides to pick up the stool and run across the field in front of the outfielder or infielder who's about to catch the ball, and the ball drops in. And that would be interesting. I saw that happen the other day where the ball boy, the ball was in his area, and the three outfielder, it was the third baseman, the shortstop, and the left fielder converging on the ball, and the ball boy decided, I got to get out of here, and he ran in between all of them with stool in hand. So that was pretty funny and unusual to see. So that sort of thing. Also, the ball boys, I've seen them grab balls or hit balls or catch balls that are fair, and then it becomes triple. Becomes basically a 2 or a potential single, becomes a automatic double, ground rule double type thing. So those are the type of plays that I'd like to add, and actually I'm thinking of starting a thread online in a couple of the forums, asking people for their input of things that are not injuries. Because since I use actual lineups and I'm kind of replaying the historical aspect of the game, I'm not really looking for a lot of injuries in the rare play charts. I would rather have that as a separate chart altogether for guys that are using that, because I can guarantee you there's 50% of the guys that aren't using the injury charts because they're using actual lineups. They want to replay the game the way they watched it or way they remember it or with the players they remember playing, and they don't want, guys just indiscriminately being injured. Now, there are other guys that enjoy that, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But I know there's a big group of guys that are playing actual. ID Jester's one of them, and so is Baseball Demo Dave. He sometimes removes players for injuries, but sometimes he doesn't. So I feel that he like kind of leans towards the way I do it, where you want to play the actual lineup and you want the guy to make it through the game if he actually made it through the game. So that sort of thing. And the guys who are injured don't start that day. So I have, when I create a lineup, it's the actual lineup, and the guys that are injured were out. And that's how I work it. So there are injuries in my replays. They just don't happen with me rolling the dice. They just happen historically they occurred, and I just play and I follow that. So that's it. I just wanted to share a little bit of that, my thoughts on that, and I'm going to move forward, and we're going to start rolling here. Game 3, the Mets are up 2-0 in the series against a very, very good Montreal Expo team. I doubt they're going to win this one. We'll see what happens. So again, I got the card for the Mets. I got all the cards for the Mets. And Frank Taveras is leading off. Let's see where he is. Like, the only one I'm missing, this is the 1980 set, because the guy I spoke to said, well, if you want all the guys that played in 79, you got to get the 80 set. But then there's a guy missing here, Montanez. I would have to get his 79 Mets card. So I don't know what the deal with that is, but he wasn't very good anyway. But I don't have Montanez. I have most every other player. That's the 79 Mets team. Joe Torre, the manager. Craig Swan is actually the ace of the Mets staff. He won the first game of this series, the first game of the doubleheader. All right, so we're going to use iScore on the 10-inch iPad. You can get these older iPads for about $80 online. They're nice and a huge screen, so it's easy for me to see and manipulate. When I started using iScore, it was on my phone, and it was a problem because I couldn't record and use iScore simultaneously. So that was a problem, but now I'm trying to get a webcam. I will be going live pretty soon. I have the webcam. I just have to get a new computer. My computer, the one I use just to look up information, is Windows 7, and that's it. Now I'm thinking of running a free giveaway. I'm thinking of, I have tons of games that I've bought over time, and I have a 1991 Stratomatic season that I'm thinking with the whole game from 1991, and I'm thinking of running a giveaway, playing a series with Stratomatic, and then giving away, having like a couple of trivia questions embedded in the broadcast, in the recording, and then if you answer that and you contact me with the answer, then I will, I guess I will pick up, I imagine a bunch of guys are going to give me the right answer, so I'll put all their names in a hat or a cup or jar or whatever, or maybe just a little dice rolling box, and then I'll just shake it up and I'll pull out a name, and then I'll send the game to whoever that is. I thought that would be a cool idea of getting a little bit of attention to what I'm doing, and getting guys to know me a little bit better, and just a nice thing to do for the community in general. Sometimes I feel I give the stuff away anyway, when you charge $35, $40, and then you have to put $10 or $15 for shipping. Ultimately, what are you getting? $30, and where am I going with that? My pizza, my large pizza for my family, is about $20, pepperoni. So anyway, let's get started here. And it's going to be Warren Cromartie. He's a left-handed batter versus lefties. He batted .278. So I really love payoff pitch. Why? Because everything goes through the pitcher first. So he plays a big role, and in my vision of baseball, the pitcher plays a huge role in every at bat. Okay, that's a 5, so that's going to be ballpark. A ballpark 19 is going to put it in the wheelhouse. 1 to 42 is a hit. We rolled a 46, so that's outside of that range, and that's going to be popped up to the left side. Shortstop Taveras there, 1 away. Rodney Scott, switch hitter, batting righty versus the lefty Pete Falcone. That's an 8. A patient 51. That's going to be a walk. And Scott is a threat to steal. We're going to see if he gets the lead. 6 or less, he does. It's an 8, so he does not. He's going to hold it first. Here's the hawk, Andre Dawson. 6, tough. A tough 41. A tough 41 is a strikeout. Oh, gotta go lefty. Strikeout. Gotta be careful when you're used to looking at the right column, and then with lefty pitchers, you gotta remember to look at the left column. Tony Perez batting 4th, and Gary Carter on deck with 2 outs. That's an 8. That's going to be patient. A patient 20. It's going to be a base on balls. So Falcone doesn't have his normal control, although he did walk 76 batters in 184 innings. So it doesn't have very much control. So Gary the Kid Carter, soon to be a Met. Here's the pitch from Falcone to the right-hand hitting Carter. That's a foul ball. And that's a 5. A 5 is ballpark. 45 against a righty. That's going to be in play. So we're going to roll on the in play. 1 to 23 is a hit. And we rolled a 26. Ooh. So that's lined and caught by Taveras at short. Ooh, let's go back up. Let's back up because I didn't hit line drive. Line drive, 6. Done. So in my videos, you can also follow how to run, how to manage iScore, which is real easy. Now, a lot of guys ask me, do you input all the rosters? Well, I'm playing one league, and as I go and as I meet a new team, I input the roster, and I don't input 25 guys. What I input is 9 guys, the 9 guys who are playing. Then I look at the actual box score of the game, and the guys who played, I will slowly inject them in, and I would write them in one at a time. So I'm not writing 25 guys all the time. I'm writing 9, maybe 10, maybe 11 for that game, and it's pretty quick to do. And there's actually, I have a couple of videos out there showing you how to do it. Keeps all my scores, and I'm going to show you how that works. Frankie Taveras, after 115 games, now he was acquired earlier in the season from, let me see who made the last out, Carter, from the Pirates for Tim Foley, and Foley goes on to have a pretty good season for the Pirates, but Frank Taveras has a decent season for the Mets as well. They both bat, I think Foley bats about 290, Taveras with many more stolen bases, 42 stolen bases, bats about 260. So let me show you, so Frank Taveras, so we're going to look at how Frank Taveras is doing in our season. You click on his name in the batting lineup on the left, you slide over, and it's going to say that what he's doing today. He hasn't had an at-bat yet, but he's batting 264. And what did I say he was batting? He batted in actuality about 260. So he's right on the money. So the stats are right there. Now, he has 17 RBIs in reality. Doesn't say his RBIs. Let's see. He has no home runs. In reality, he had 1 home run. Let's see his stolen bases, if I can find that. He has 20 stolen bases in our season. So he's going to have to try to steal a few more bases. But he was, so we're going to see what happens with that. He's got 20 stolen bases. In reality, he had 42 stolen bases. And we have about 1/3 of the season left to play. So he's got to get going. He's got to get running. And it's Dan Schatzeder. So it's lefty versus, it's the battle of the southpaws. So that's, everything is there for you. The system keeps everything for you. And it's Frankie Taveras. Let's roll. See what happens. That's a 7. That's in play, an in play 45 versus a lefty. That's going to be an out. Grounded at first. Tony Perez is going to take it himself. 1 away. Alex Trevino, the batter, that's a foul ball. And that's a 5. A patient 76. Patient 76. That's a fly ball. Shallow center. In comes Dawson. 2 away. Lee Mazzilli, I mean, he's the standout of the season for the Mets. 300 hitter, batting I think about 325 for the Mets. 4, that's going to be tough. A tough 60. Tough 60 is a fly ball right field. Under it is Valentine, makes the catch, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. We go to top of the second. And try to move and groove here, do a little bit less talking, a little bit more rolling. Ellis Valentine, Snake Eyes, that's defense. 62, let's see what happens. We're going to pull a card now. This is how you use the fast action cards. You look over here, it's going to be a range call. We see that range goes all the way up to 63. So somebody would have to have an F range, and who is that going to be? We're going to look. Range, oh wait, range center field, I'm sorry. The first card shows you, see, it tells you it's range, and it's going to be center field. So So now we're going to look at the center fielder, Mazzilli. And I know Mazzilli's not an F. I mean, I'll tell you right now, he's not an F. Yeah, Mazzilli's a D. Not far from an F, but he's a D in center field. So that's not going to be a D. Is 1 to 53. We rolled a 62. So that's going to be a catch by Mazzilli, 1 away now. Larry Parrish, the third baseman, good power, hit 30 home runs. Foul ball again. And that's an 11. Ballpark. Ballpark 30. So ballpark 30 from a righty is going to be a wheelhouse. So wheelhouse check versus a lefty is going to be 1 to 54 is going to be some sort of hit. 1 to 16 is a home run. And we rolled a 19, so that's going to be a double in the gap. That's going to roll to the wall. Parrish hustles around first and into second with a double. 1 out double for Parrish. Now Parrish not a really, he's a decent base runner. This is not necessarily speed, but his base running ability. I don't understand, I don't know the formula for it. Chris Spire, and that's a 5. Ballpark again. That's coming up a lot. That's not good. 14. So that's going to be wheelhouse against a lefty. 1 to 29. It's going to be a hit. You have to re-roll. 1 to 29. That's an 80. That's going to be way out. And that's a grounded to short. Taveras looks Parrish back to second. Fires to first. And that's 2 out. Pitcher hitting card. Dan Schatzeder is a 10. Let's see. Off Falcone. That's an 8. Patient 11. Patient 11 off a 10 is going to be a base on ball. So Schatzeder manages a walk, and that's not good because that brings up Warren Cromartie, 278 hitter versus lefties with 2 outs. Parrish at second, Schatzeder at first. Here's the pitch to Cromartie from Falcone, 10. That's in play, 76. An in play 76. And that's going to be an easy out. Center field, shallow pop-up. Back goes Taveras. In comes Mazzilli. Mazzilli makes the catch. And that retires the side. We go to the bottom of the second. No score here at beautiful Shea Stadium, downtown Queens. The heart of Flushing, Queens, not far from LaGuardia Airport. John Stearns is batting 4th today for the Mets. Cleanup batter. He's playing third base. Usually he's a D range and a 1 error, which means basically he committed a lot of errors at third base, so he's not a very good third baseman. They want to keep his bat in the lineup. That's a 66. That goes to wheelhouse automatically, and that's going to be a 69, a wheelhouse 69 versus a lefty. That's going to be a ground ball second base, Rodney Scott. 4-3 if you're scoring at home, 1 away. Willie Montanez, 6. That's Patient, a Patient 16. It's going to be a ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit into center field. So Montanez on with a single. Jose Cardinal, who had only 37 bats with the Mets. That's what I love about Payoff Pitch. You get all these extra players. It's a beautiful thing. You never have to worry if you play in actual lineups. It's, there's a small batch of fringe players that you can order if you want, but it's guys that have had like 10 at bats or 7 at bats. So they really, they're usually subs. They usually don't start. So you can actually play. I haven't really needed them too much this season. I only need 1 guy. His name is Ferrer, this guy right here. Sergio Ferrer. He had 79. He had 7 at bats, but he was a pinch runner a lot of times. But I bought the extra fringe players for like $10, and I have them in a box there, so I may pull them out a little bit later. But at least I know I have them in the same card quality. Now all these cards are protected. I use, guys ask me what sleeves you use. Ultra Pro card sleeves. These are standard baseball card sleeves. I should put these in those as well. I want to protect my collection. I'm thinking about, consolidating my collection into a few great items that I really love rather than having stuff that I probably will never get to. A lot of stuff that I'll probably never get to and then can't fit in my coffin. All right. So Montanez on at first. There's 1 out. Jose Cardinal. Dan Schatzeder looks in for the sign from Gary Carter. Now the Mets aren't going to do too much running against Carter because he has a heck of an arm. Carter's arm is a 2, and that's trouble for base stealers. So they're going to be pretty conservative. So we're going to roll. Here's Cardinal. That's a 5. That's Patient, a Patient 88. And that's going to be a grounded as short. This may be a double play. Let's say 8 there and a 6 there. So it's going to be a, what did I say it was? 88. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. And that retires the side. And then you put out, double play, done. They ask you what happened to the runner at first. You have to click out and then follow that up with double play. And that switches over to the next team. Rodney Scott leading it off. Rodney Scott walked his first time at bat. And that's going to be a 6. A tough pitch, 23. Tough 23 is a strikeout. So High Heat gets Rodney Scott. Don't get a lot of, in this season, you don't get a lot of strikeouts. That's a 10. In play 34. And in play 34 is, right outside of hit range. It's going to be popped up. That's foul ground behind the plate. And who's that? Trevino throws his mask away. Makes the catch. Alex Trevino filling in for Stearns, who's playing third base today. And 2 outs now. It's Tony Perez. He was part of that big red machine. And it's going to be a 5. Ballpark 06. So that's going to be Wheelhouse versus a lefty. 1-45 is some sort of hit. 1-23 is a home run. And it's a deep drive, but that's one hop off the wall in the gap. Perez around first into second with a double. And it's Gary Carter now, a 2-out double by Tony Perez. And Gary Carter, who's 0 for 1, he lined to, I believe, the shortstop in his first at bat. Here's the pitch to Carter, the kid Carter. Wheelhouse, 76. The orange die for Mets, orange at home, is the lead die. So Wheelhouse 76 versus a lefty. That's going to be an out. Fly ball, center field. Mazzilli goes back to the track and makes the catch. Dan Schatzter, the lefty, facing Joel Youngblood, right-handed batter, playing left field. 9, that's tough. A tough 39. Tough 39 is a strikeout. So curveball got him. Doug Flynn, 7 in play 32. In play 32. That's popped up left side. Parrish in foul ground. Makes the catch. 2 away. Pitcher spot. P. Falcone is a 5 hitting pitcher. POP has some pitcher batting cards, but primarily you get the pitcher hitting cards. 9, patient. Oh, I'm sorry. 9 is tough. Excuse me. I was looking at the other pitcher. 99. That's going to be a fly ball. Left field. Cromartie under it. And that retires the side. Tough 99. Let me just check one thing real quick. Tough 99. Oh, no. You know what? Made a mistake. That's a strikeout. Go back. Out. Strikeout. All right. Top of the 4th. No score. Ellis Valentine, Larry Parrish, and Chris Spear. That's 3 in play. 28. In play 28 versus a lefty is a base hit single. Line to left. And Ellis Valentine, not really a threat to steal, but we're going to roll anyway to see if he gets a lead. 4. That's a 6. It does not go. Larry Parrish. That's a 7. 7 is tough. 39. Tough 39. That's a strikeout. Parrish down swinging. Chris Spire. 5. Ballpark 39 on a righty is 39. It goes up to 33, so we're going to have to roll on in play for Chris Spire. And that's a unusual play. And this is where some issues come in to play for me, in that it only gives you a short selection here. That's why I want to kind of add my own. So let's roll to see. Runner on base. It's an 11. Reroll 2d6. If the total is higher than the pitcher's hold rating, a balk is called. So that's a 4, so it is not. So basically, otherwise, run on first is picked off. There you go, pick off 1-3, and they get Valentine. They surprised him. So he's out. So the way you do that, click the base runner, you put out, and then it gives you choices: caught stealing, picked off. Gives you a chance to write in the assist and the put out, 1-3. And the throw to first, and it gets Valentine by surprise. Spire's still up. Here's the pitch. Nobody on, 2 outs, 5. Ballpark again, 0-5. That's going to be wheelhouse on a lefty. 72, that's way out range. And that's going to be a fly ball, center field. Mazzilli runs it down, and that retires the side. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. Frankie Taveras, who's 0 for 1 with a ground out. It tells you what he did in the previous at bat right here on the screen. You probably can't see it. 7. That's an in-play 99. Fly ball lifted to left. Shallow left. Running in is Cromartie. Makes the catch. 1 away. Alex Trevino. Tough 0-9. That's a strikeout. Trevino curveball gets him. And Lee Mazzilli. An 8 tough pitch, 21. Tough 21's a strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts by Dan Schatzeder. Schatzeder was 10-5 with a 2.83 ERA in about 30 starts. So had a decent, above-average season. Schatzeder, a 10, 7 tough pitch, 51. Tough 51's a strikeout. Schatzeder down swinging. Warren Cromartie, tough 91. And that's lined and caught by Flynn at second base. And tough pitch, 12, strikeout. Rodney Scott down looking, completely fooled. And it's Schatzeder versus Stearns in the bottom half of the 5th. No score in this game. Expos have 3 hits. Mets have 1 hit. There were 25 hits in Game 1 of this series, and only, I can't remember the number of runs, weren't that many runs. And it's going to be Stearns against Schatzeder. And that's a tough pitch, 83. It's going to be a grounder short. Taveras up with it. Oh, no. Spear up with it, and that's going to be 1 out now. Willie Montanez. That's 11. Defense. A 28. Let's see what happens here. It's going to be an error at first base, and at first base is Perez. He's a 2. That translates into 1-51. We rolled a 28, so it's going to be an error. It's going to be an error, and that's going to be a 1-base error. It shows you right here, first base, third base, a 1-base error. So basically, it's off the heel of Perez's glove. He should have caught it, but drops it. So that's going to put a Mets runner at first base on the E3. So Montanez on first with 1 out. Jose Cardinal. That's a 6. Patient 0-3. Patient 0-3. That's a walk. First and second. Joel Youngblood. Here's the pitch to Youngblood. That's a 3. Ballpark 32 against a righty. This is going to be wheelhouse. So we have a chance to score some runs here. 1-47 is going to be some sort of hit. 1-22, 1-33, actually 1-53 versus lefties. Glad I had to switch there. And then 1-33 is a home run. Oh, 89. Oh man, that's not going to do it. Ground ball shortstop. That's probably got to roll for the double play now. That's 5. That's going to be a double play. 5-4-3 double play. 89 is going to be. Oh no, 6-4-3 double play. Because that's a 6 there, and we rolled a 5. So it's a ground out. 6-4-3 double play. What happens to the runner on second base? Well, he advances. What happens to the runner on first? He's out on the double play. So that retires the side. We go to the top of the 6th. We're really moving and grooving outside of my talking. Andre Dawson against Pete Falcone. Pete Falcone can go 7 without becoming fatigued. That's a 9. Patient, a 99. Patient 99. And that's going to be a fly ball lifted to left. Shallow left. Youngblood comes in, makes the catch. Tony Perez. He's 1 for 1. A walk and a double. Oop, foul ball. Fouls it straight back. 7. Tough. A tough 93. And that's a fly to left again. Shallow left field. Back goes the third baseman, Stearns, but no, it's taken by Youngblood. And Gary Carter with 2 outs. 3 is in play, 0-9, and that's pulled down the line into the corner. Gary Carter around first. Here comes the throw, and he's safe in under the tag with a 2-out double for Carter, the kid. Elvis Valentine. Here's the pitch to Ellis Valentine. That's defense. That's a 12. Defensive check, 65. And that's higher than both defensive numbers at Shea Stadium. So that's going to be an out of some kind. It's going to be a ground ball, second base. And that's Flynn over to Montanez, and that retires the side. We go to bottom of the 6th. Schatzeder. We got pitcher's duel here. Doug Flynn. 3, ballpark, 81. That's going to be in play. Got to roll for 81, 0-7. And that's going to be a base hit. Line drive left field. And the pitcher's going to bunt now. Falcone's a B bunter, so we're going to pull a card to do this. B is, popped up to the catcher. And that's not going to move Flynn over. Didn't do his job. Put out catcher there on that one. And Frankie Taveras. Doug Flynn, not really a base stealer. I mean, he had no stolen bases, caught 3 times. So I can even roll for him to do that. It's a 4, tough. A tough 21. Tough 21's a strikeout. So Taveras down looking, and Trevino. That's a 3, ballpark, 62. We're going to roll on the in play 24, and that's going to be a hit. So he muscles one into left field, drops in there, and runners advance 2 bases because Flynn is a good base runner and there's 2 outs. So it's a single. Flynn goes to third. First and third now. Mets are threatening here with 2 outs, and it's their best batter, Lee Mazzilli. Now let's talk about Lee Mazzilli's season. In reality, Lee Mazzilli batted 300 for the Mets. I think it was about 304, but he's doing better in our replay. He's batting 329. In 419 at-bats, he has 138 hits with 52 RBIs and 12 home runs. In reality, he hit 15 home runs, so he's right on the money. Batting average a little bit better, but that's good. I mean, it's fine. I don't care if guys have a little bit are in a slump and they have a little bit worse of an average, a little bit better of an average. But pretty much, I mean, guys who did well do well, and guys that did poorly do poorly, and guys in between sometimes I do a little bit better, a little bit worse, but it's all good. And I've replayed with every game system, and it's never exact. I mean, it just isn't. All right, so Lee Mazzilli against Dan Schatzeder. First and third, 2 outs. Mets have a chance here, take the lead. That's a 3. That's ballpark, 85. We're going to roll on the in play. So it's going to be 1-48. It's going to be a hit. And we roll a 46. And that does it. That's lined base hit to right field. And runner on third scores. And Trevino is going to go to third base. Let's make sure he's not a real slow runner. He's not. Or he's a pretty decent base runner. I have to correct myself on that. So Mets are up 1-0 on the single to right by Lee Mazzilli. And first and third, we're going to let John Stearns bat. Lee Mazzilli's going to hold against Gary Carter's arm. That's a 6. A patient 56. Patient 56. Oh, and that's going to be a hit by pitch. Bases are loaded. So Stearns gets plunked, bases loaded for Willie Montanez. It's action in the Montreal bullpen now. Looks like Elias Sosa and Stan Bonson out there. 3, 2 righties. That's 3, that's ballpark. And that's a 77. That's going to be in play. We're going to look at the in play. 1-24, and that's an 80. Fly ball center field. Andre the Hawk Dawson, he's there, and that puts it away, and that retires the side. We go to the top of the 7th. The Mets pick up a run. The Mets are up here at Shea Stadium in what is quite a pitcher's duel. Both teams have 4 hits. Larry Parrish is going to face Pete Falcone in the top of the 7th inning. Now let's start looking. Both runners are going to maintain their status simply because they haven't allowed 3 runs yet. So, but this is Falcone's fatigue inning. That's a 5, ballpark 0-9. That's going to be wheelhouse against a lefty. 1-16 is a home run. We wrote 49. It's going to be line drive base hit to left, and Youngblood gets it in on a hop. Parrish, good base runner, but not a base stealer, but we'll roll for him anyway to see if he gets a lead and goes. He does not. Chris Spire is going to bunt. Oh, he's an F bunter. Oh, goodness. Yeah, well, we're going to let him hit away. And that's a 9. A patient 33. Patient 33 is a base on balls. That's first and second. All right, so Pete Falcone's. We're going to pull Pete Falcone. Who pitched in this game for the Mets? That's usually how I do it. Let me check the box score of this game. It was Murray. Murray pitched in this game. We're going to bring in Dale Murray to replace Falcone. Let's see if we can get out of trouble here. First two batters reach for the Expos. Include offensive sub. Okay, so Pete Falcone's out, and Dale Murray, who was 4-8 with a 4.82 ERA. He appeared in 58 games for the Mets, pitched 97 innings, and it's gonna be Dan Schatzeder. And you know what we're gonna do? He only had 3 complete games. 21 starts, 3 complete games. So we're gonna. What kind of bunter is he? He's a D bunter. So we're gonna. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna leave. Well, I can bring in somebody to bunt, or I can just bring in somebody to hit away. But I want to get that runner on second to third. So what can I do? We can bring in Dave Cash, who's a B bunter. So Cash is gonna pinch hit. Dave Cash is going to pinch hit for the pitcher Schatzeder, so he's out. And Cash is going to square away. Here's the pitch from Murray, and a B is a sacrifice hit to the catcher. Catcher over to second baseman covering 2-4. Sacrifice bunt 2-4. Both runners move up, so the tying run is at third now, and the go-ahead run is at second. And we have Warren Cromartie, a lefty. Infield is in for the Mets, so we have to use these little charts here. Bases not loaded. Have this thing. Okay, 66, Murray wheelhouse. 39, a 39 wheelhouse versus a righty. It's going to be a opposite field liner into left field. And it says runner on second scores. So both runs are going to come around, and the Expos now lead at 2-1. RBI single by Cromartie scores both. I'll tell you. Hold on a second. Scores both Parrish and Spire, and it's Cromartie on at first. Now he's not really a base stealer. We'll roll to see what happens there, and that's a 9. So he's not going to take a lead. But the batter now is Rodney Scott batting. Should be batting from the left side. I don't know why he's batting from the right side. Scott should be a switch hitter. Let's see. I don't know why. It's acting up. Wait a second. Let's see. Rodney Scott. No, he is the second baseman. I don't know why it's asking me that. That's weird. I'm trying to... wait a second. Defense. No. Okay, just leave it for now. I don't know why it's doing that. It's not letting me get to Rodney Scott. Oh, wait. There it is. Oh, because he's in as a right-handed batter, and he's a switch hitter. There you go. I adjusted him, and now he should be batting from the left side, and he is. Batting lefty versus the right-hand throwing Dale Murray. With 1 out, Cromartie on at first. The Expos lead at 2-1 in the top of the 7th inning. That's an 11 defense. A 29, let's see what that turns into. Error second base. So let's look at the second baseman's E rating. So Flynn is a decent 4. So a 4 E rating is 1-26, and we rolled a 29. So that's going to be an out. That may be a double play. So it's an out. Ground ball and runner advances. So no, it's not a double play. It's going to be an out, but the runner does advance 4-3. And now it's the Hawk Dawson against Dale Murray with Cromartie at second base. That's an 8. In play 50. In play 39 versus a righty. In play 39, that's going to be an out. ground ball comebacker to Murray. Murray feels his position over to first, and that retires the side, but not before. The Expos pick up 2 runs in the top of the 7th. They lead it by a score of 2-1. And Dan Schatzeder is out. We're going to get Stan Bonson. Actually, we're going to get Sosa. And we'll bring in Bonson. Oh, no, Sosa's the closer. We'll bring in Bonson now. All right, we're moving and grooving here. Using payoff pitch. Practically chartless. Jose Cardinal leading it off versus Bonson. That's an 8. In play, 87. And that's going to be a ground that is short. Spire up with it, fires to first. Youngblood next, 1 out, 7. Tough, a tough 75. Fly ball center field. Oop, hit grounder. Let's try it out. Fly ball center field. Right there is Dawson, puts it away. 2 outs now, and it's Doug Flynn here in the bottom of the 7th. That's a 3. That's tough, 46. A tough 46 is outside of hit range. Pulled down the line. Nice play by Parrish. Fires to first and gets Doug Flynn by half a step. Hit it hard, but nice backhand grab by Parrish at third base. Throws out Flynn for out number 3. We go to the top of the 8th. It's Dale Murray on the mound. 6. Patient 69. Patient 69. That's going to be against a righty. Big ground ball, second base. Flynn flips to Montanez, and Perez is out. Gary Carter, who's 1 for 3, lined out, flied out, and doubled. And Carter, 8. In play, 14. That's a ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. So Carter's on the kid with a single at first base. Ellis Valentine, the pitch from Murray, 7. Tough, a tough 39. Tough 39, that's a strikeout. Ellis Valentine went after the high cheese. And Parrish, it's 11. That's defense. 87. That's going to be both higher than range and higher than error check. So that's going to be an out. And that's going to be a ground ball to the first baseman. Montanez takes it himself, and that retires the side. So Murray's up in the bottom of the 8th. And we are going to have a new pitcher coming in for the Mets because there's a batter. Our favorite pinch hitter is going to be Eddie Kranepool facing Stan Bonson. Love Eddie Kranepool, longtime Met, his whole career from the Bronx. Eddie from the Bronx he's actually in reality he's having a kidney transplant right now. Hope he's getting better. We're looking for who we're looking for. Let me double check that. It was Glenn. Ed Glenn is going to be coming in. So we're going to move that. We're going to change that already so we don't mess up. And Ed Kranepool versus Stan Bonson in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 2-1 ball game. Here's the pitch to Kranepool. That's a 6. Tough. A tough 69. It's going to be a ground ball to short. Spire up with it. Fires to first and gets Kranepool 1 away. Next is Frankie Taveras, who's 0 for 3. Grounded out, flied out, and struck out. 8. In play. 82. And that's a shortstop. Grounded is short. Spire throws him out. 2 away. Gets Taveras by a step, hustling down that line. Alex Trevino, right-handed batter. He's 1 for 3 today. He's flied out, struck out, and singled. That's a 6. That's tough. A tough 11. That's a strikeout. Curveball gets him, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Metsies in the bottom of the 8th. It's 2-1 Expos. We go to the top of the 9th. Ed Glenn is in there. You click on the pitcher. You look for Glenn in your roster. Oh, look for Glenn. And you just click save. Now I'm going to put him into 9th spot. There we go. Now, I didn't do it right. Offense, 9th spot. Find Glenn. Click on him. Save. Chris Spire leading it off against Ed Glenn. And that's a 10. Tough. A tough 84. Glenn's a lefty. So we're moving over to the other side. Ground ball, Taveras. 1 away. Pitcher spot. And we're going to bring in Rusty. Oh, no. Rusty Staubs. Going to bring in... Slida thing. You know what? We're going to bring in pinch hitter Duffy Dyer. Who's the pitcher for the? Let's see who the pitcher is. Stan Bonson. So it's gonna be Duffy Dyer coming into bat. Here's a pitch from Ed Glenn to Dyer. 5 in play, 26 in play, 26, and that's going to be a ground ball through the hole into left field. It's a hit for Duffy Dyer. He's on at first. Don't know who the pinch runners would be for the Expos, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. Actually, let me see. You know what? Mason. I'm going to bring in Mason to pinch run for Dyer. Make it kind of realistic here. Pinch runner, Mason. He's a much better base runner. Jim Mason. So Dyer's out, even though Dyer's a pretty decent base runner himself, but Mason's probably more realistic. Smaller guy, infielder, not a catcher. So Mason's running at first. Warren Cromartie. Here's the pitch from Ed Glenn. Lefty versus lefty. Snake eyes. That's a wheelhouse. Wheelhouse 83 versus a lefty. That's going to be an out. That's going to be a grounder to second. That's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. And the Mets get out of trouble. 4-6-3 double play. And that's all she wrote. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Last licks for the Mets. Now it's going to be Sosa coming in. Sosa is the closer for the Expos. Elias Sosa. He's going to be batting ninth, even though he's not going to bat, but just there you go. All right, so it's going to be Sosa against Mazzilli, Stearns, and Montanez. Here's the pitch to Mazzilli. That's a 9. That's tough. A tough 0-6. Sosa's a righty. That's a strikeout. Mazzilli goes down on strikes, and Stearns 5. Patient 0-4. Stearns is going to make it. Base on balls. Stearns is on at first, so the tying run is on at first for the Mets, and it's Willie Montanez, left-handed batter, and that's a 6. That's a tough 79. A tough 79 is going to fly ball center field. Right there is Dawson, 2 away. And it's Jose Cardinal versus the righty Elias Sosa. Here's the pitch. And that's a 7 in play, 67. This is going to do it. 67. That's going to be a ground ball second base. Scott flips to Perez, and that's the ball game. So that's it. Payoff pitch. The Mets win the series 2-1, lose the third game. And I'll show you exit out. I'm going to put the winning pitcher and the losing pitcher. Winning pitcher is going to be Dan Schatzeder. Top of the 7th, the Mets took the lead. Schatzeder was still pitching. And then the loss is going to go to the Mets' Falcone. And the save is going to go to Sosa. A hold will go to Bonson. And I just want to double check that because most of the scoring happened in the 7th. So I'm looking at the scorebook. Yeah. Top of the 7th. That's the bottom of the 7th. So there was a new pitcher at the bottom of the 7th against the Mets, but that's already, they scored in the top of the 7th. So, and then for the Mets, for the Mets, it was a new pitcher in the top of the 7th, there's a new pitcher, but wait a second. So, it looks like got pulled. Yeah, but they had taken the lead because this is the bottom of the 7th. So the starter, Schatzeder, was pulled in the top of the 7th for a pinch hitter, and we'll double check that. And then I'll run through the line score, and then that's it. Yeah, the pinch hitter in the top of the 7th was going to be Dave Cash, who bunted 2-4, moved both runners up, and then it was an RBI single by Warren Cromartie, driving in both runs in the top of the 7th. which gave the Expos a lead. So everything's correct. And I'll give you a line score. It was Expos 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 8 left on base. The Mets 1 run, 4 hits, no errors, and 5 left on base. And that's all she wrote. Game 115 is in the books, and this is CP Cards and Dice saying adios, payoff pitch. Replay is done for the day. I don't know who exactly we're playing next, but I'll take a quick peek and tell you. I'm looking at the almanac schedule. And the Mets are about to begin. I believe they're playing at noon today, but they usually play at noon. They're playing in New York. Let's see what happens. They didn't start till 3 o'clock yesterday. Let's see. Game 116 is going to be against, scrolling down here. Oh, all right. I scrolled way too much. Now, game 116 is going to be at Atlanta Braves. 3 games at Atlanta Braves. So that's going to be interesting. I don't think the Braves are very good in 79. So we may be able to win 1 or 2 there, hopefully. See what happens. All right, I'm doing some other projects. I got the APA project of replaying the 1988 NLCS. The Mets won 4-1, and we're going into the World Series against the Bash Brothers. What would have been, right? I mean, the Mets were highly favored in that series, ended up losing to the Dodgers. And then the Dodgers beat the A's 4-1. That was weird. But we're going to be facing the Bash Brothers. See what happens. Now, there's a funny, interesting musical on the Bash Brothers. It's comedy on Netflix, if you want to check that out. Pretty funny. It's got some profanity in it, but it's entertaining for a little bit at least. I watch it for a little while. I may have to take it in small doses. So I'm going to say goodbye now. Take care, guys. Adios.